So, if you've been on your personal growth journey for a while now, you've probably come across human design. Maybe you started to hear some of the buzz about it, and you got curious enough that you went out to one of those sites where you can get your free human design chart and you entered all your birth data. And with anticipation, you waited and waited, and then it spit out something that looks like this. And you took a look and you're like, oh no, head scratch. Okay. I mean, I know I've heard that this is really cool and helpful, but when you look at that, it's kind of like reading a nuclear physics white paper written in ancient Greek with subtitles in medieval Arabic, right? In other words, it looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It's like, what do I do with that? It's kind of complex and intimidating. And unless you had lots of motivation and lots of free time, you probably didn't get much beyond the surface level of human design. Okay. But here's my invitation. I'm really imploring you, I'm inviting you, I'm encouraging you to stick with it or to come back to it or to explore it for the first time. Because the truth is that if you can get over the complexity and begin to wade into human design bit by bit, there is some enormous, enormous insight that is really practical and really poignant, especially for this moment in time, specifically in this moment when we're really grappling with what it means to be human amidst this acceleration of AI and our questioning our role in everything. It becomes more important than ever to really explore and understand what makes me human, and as a human, how am I wired and how am I unique? And this is what human design can help us unlock, this understanding, this insight. There's this almost fable like analogy I've been using lately, and I call it the tractor and the Lamborghini. Okay, bear with me. It'll make sense. So I want you to imagine that you're a Lamborghini. Okay. But where you grew up, where you were born, no one told you that you were a Lamborghini or what Lamborghinis can do. So as a Lamborghini, you've been spending your whole life plowing fields and running errands into town and back. And it's like you just have felt kind of out of place and horrible. It's like you have this innate sense that there's more in there, but you're just doing what you were taught to do, and you don't enjoy plowing the fields. You feel underused, out of place. It's like, what am I even doing here? Right? And then all of a sudden, someone comes from out of town and they see a Lamborghini and they're like, oh my gosh, why is that Lamborghini plowing the fields? A Lamborghini needs to let loose on the Autobahn, right? So someone finally comes in and says, hey, you are a Lamborghini. You are designed in a very specific way to do some very specific things that I think you're going to like. And for the first time, you hit the highway and unleash and unlock what it is to be a Lamborghini. This is kind of what human design is like. A lot of us are living like that Lamborghini, doing things that we're not really designed to do. And by the way, vice versa, the opposite is true. This is why the fable is called the tractor and a Lamborghini, because a lot of us are also tractors who have been raised to live like cars. And we think, okay, what do cars do? We go out on the highway and we let loose. And you're that tractor, and it's like, man, I'm slow, I'm clunky. It feels like there's something else I'm supposed to be doing. Like, where did I go wrong? I don't belong. You get it. And then someone comes along and says, oh my gosh, tractor, there's something extremely important that we need you to do, literally in order to survive. The collective needs you kind of in your purpose, in your design, so that we can all survive. And then the tractor plows a field for the first time and feels this sense of connection and alignment that they'd never felt before. Again, this is my fable, my imperfect fable, to explain how human design can help something click in when you understand your alignment, your design. Okay. And so let's talk a little bit about human design origins. It's interesting, right? So this is a modern synthesis system that was actually born in the late 80s. And it was channeled. It was like this giant 8-day download by this guy who afterwards went by the name Ra Uru Hu. And he described receiving this download of information over the course of 8 days. And it's a combination of some ancient wisdom systems like the I Ching, traditional Western astrology, the chakra system, the Kabbalah, quantum physics, genetics. It's like all these different fields kind of coalesce together into this system that almost appeared to him complete as human design. Now, and if you have trouble with this, that's okay. That's fine. But I want you to think about how other breakthroughs have come through sort of like these instantaneous downloads. One of my favorites is James Watson's dream of the spiral staircase. That then, when he shared with Francis Crick, it gave birth to the understanding of DNA and the double helix. But maybe the most intense and most parallel to human design would be Dmitri Mendeleev, and who essentially dreamed up the entire periodic table. So if you have trouble with the concept of downloads coming in this way, think about how your modern scientific education is basically built on these simple, similar downloads. Okay, so in other words, a system is only as good as it is useful for us in our evolution and our health. And so, number one, it's still around. In 2025, human design is still around and as relevant as ever, as I just said. And number two, my philosophy has always been treat your own life like a laboratory. There's a reason why why my online community is called the Purpose Lab, because I really like this energy of experimentation, open-mindedness, but also combined with critical thinking. And you test this out in your own life. If it feels useful, if it fills you with insight and momentum, then keep it. If it doesn't, if it feels like a dead end or you can't get past something, then you abandon it. There are so many systems out there you could try, but you do have to try. You have to be open enough to try. And I also love the advice of the Buddha himself, who said, never, never take someone's teachings just on their own word, not even mine, right? The Buddha said, not even mine. In fact, be like a merchant who, when they receive a coin, a gold coin, they bite it, right? They test it. Is this real gold or not? So I invite you to do the same thing here. But I'm here to present the idea that probably right at your fingertips, you have it is complex, but you have a beautiful and accessible system for understanding how you are designed to move through the world with ease, with power, and with purpose. Okay? Now, this is just an introduction video, so I'm going to give you some real general advice on where to start with human design. So number one, step one, if you're like still with me here and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to give this another shot or give it a shot for the first time, then here we go. The first thing you're going to want to do is pull your chart. Okay. So there are several free online chart generators out there. You're going to need your birth date, time, and location as precisely as you can. And I'll put a link in the description and the comments about the particular site that I recommend. It's my favorite, but there are others out there. I invite you to explore, do a little online research, but you want to pull your chart. And yes, when you pull your chart, you're going to get something like this or very similar that shows several different centers. Okay. These are called centers. And the unique configuration of you is a combination of which centers you have defined versus open. Defined means colored in. Open means are the ones that you see that are not colored in. Your gates, those are the little numbers. Those are the little numbers around each center. And then the channels, and those are where you see gates connected to other gates. The combination of all those things is what makes you absolutely 100% unique. And this is your human design. And it has to do with kind of your energetic blueprint. And by understanding this, you can understand how to move, I repeat, how to move through the world with ease, power, and purpose. Okay, so step one, pull your chart. You've got your chart. All right, step two, we're going to check your type. Okay, there are energy types. Okay, and you're going to see things like I'm a generator, I'm a manifesting generator, I'm a projector, I'm a reflector, right? So you're going to want to identify your type, and that's the first little bit of information you can get. Is you can come back to a channel like mine I've got a free workshop in my Purpose Lab, but I'm not even telling you have to stick with me. Once you know your type, there's some beautiful, wonderful creators out there in the human design space who have some good introductory videos on each type. And go check them out. See what resonates. If you find out that you're a manifesting generator, go find an introduction video on manifesting generator. What does that mean about my energy style? How am I built? How am I wired to exchange energy with the world around me? Where does my natural power lie? Right? And it's kind of, it's a laboratory. See how that feels to you. Does this resonate? Does this feel like a truth to me? Okay. And then number 3, the third thing you're going to check is your strategy. Now this is tied very directly to your type, but this is where it really starts to unlock. Your strategy is kind of like your how-to manual for making aligned decisions and navigating life with more ease, okay? Because we're so conditioned to navigate life in certain ways without knowledge of our human design. And when we do this with knowledge of our strategy according to our human design, things can shift immediately. Like I'm not about like overnight hacks, but this is one that literally, if you understand your strategy and you begin to approach life just slightly shifted, leaning into your strategy, you can see some shifts and changes immediately, okay? And then step 4, and these are kind of like the big 3 things I recommend people to do right after you have your chart, right? Your type, your strategy, and then number 3, your authority. This tells you how you're designed specifically to make decisions that can bypass the mental noise, because we're all conditioned to make decisions on this merry-go-round, right? When it turns out almost all of us are actually designed, according to human design, to make decisions beyond the noise of the thinking mind. We all have tools and compasses in here in our energetic body to make decisions that are aligned for us, okay? And this is how you're going to tune into your true inner knowing, all right? So that's it. That's my advice for how to get started with human design. Like I said, you're going to see more and more human design content here on my channel. So stay tuned here. Check out the Purpose Lab. I've got a free 1-hour intro to human design workshop with some resources. But otherwise, let me know, where do you stand on human design? What's your type? What have you learned? Did it scare you away? Let me know about your journey with human design and maybe even the kind of content that would be helpful and insightful for you. All right, good luck.